Hi, I'm going to show you one of the most efficient ways to keep track of your personal finances so that you will be better equipped with the ability to make decisions which can strongly affect your finances. Now, the first thing is to click on the link in the description. Once you did that, you will see this financial sheet, except you will not be able to do anything other than view it. So make sure you are logged into your Google account and then click on File, select Make a Copy. What you did was take the exact template of the sheet or the other sheet, but now you have the option to edit it. Another option is to download this as an Excel sheet. It's up to you. I personally think Google Sheets is more appropriate as you can easily manage and view this from any device anytime, as opposed to Excel, which would only work on the device it was downloaded to unless you put it on some sort of cloud like Dropbox. Now that you have this opened in your desired format, you'll see there is a number of different charts here. I know this can be overwhelming at first, but I'll walk you through everything. The first chart here on the top right is called a condensed balance sheet. Now, a balance sheet shows you exactly what your current financial position is. It shows you how much money you have, how much debt, and how much you earned and or lost through expenses. Assets here is referring to the total amount of money you currently have available to spend, if you so desire. Liabilities is the amount of debt you currently owe, and equity is your income minus expenses. Now, the number one rule is that assets equals liabilities plus equity. For example, say you have $100 in cash. That is $100 in assets, and either you earned that money or borrowed it. If you earned it, then it's $100 in assets and $100 in equity. Now, if you borrowed $100, then what would be is $100 in assets and $100 in liabilities. None of the possibility is that you earned 50 and borrowed 50. In that case, assets are still 100 since you currently have the money to spend as you wish, but in both equity and liabilities, there's $50 in each. And in any of those cases, assets always equal liabilities plus equity, and if it didn't, then there's an error on your part. Okay, now below, this is a full balance sheet. It shows everything that is above, but with greater details. Assets, liabilities, and equity are broken down into different accounts here. So for example, in assets, you can have cash and two bank accounts, and so on and so forth. Now, if you scroll down here, you'll see in equity, there's an account called Before Keeping Track Equity. What this is all money you currently have available in different accounts combined. This is important to add if you want to know how much money you have available at any given time. So say with all your bank accounts and cash combined, you have $9,400, you would put that here. So let's do that. Next, you're going to see the Before Keeping Track debt account. So here you're going to put the total amount of all the debt you currently have. You say with all credit cards and student loans, you have 20,000. So put that number here. Let's put 20,000. Now I'll get to this chart under the balance sheet after we go through the income statement. The first thing we have here is assets. What you should do here is put the various accounts and forms you hold your money. So for example, for the first, you can put the most simple cash. Then say you have a TD bank account. So let's do TD account. And then a Robinhood account if you have that, whatever you have. If there's not enough space, then don't worry, I'll show you how to add more later. Now you'll notice as you're adding, they appear on the balance sheet as well. Next is liability accounts. This is for your credit cards and other forms of debt you currently have. So I'll put in Chase Sapphire, for example. Let's do Amex and student loans. In the equity section, we have the forms of income, I'll put here, say I work at Starbucks, so I'll put Starbucks, Uber, and other, which can be money given as a gift, found on the floor, a stimulus check, or you get the idea. Under this is the various expenses you would usually incur. Now, there are two ways you can categorize your expenses. You can either group a number of expenses into one category. For example, have an expense called monthly, and anything that you incur on a monthly basis will be put into that category. Or you can categorize items individually. So instead of putting your rent or Netflix subscription, car payments, or utilities and the like into monthly, create a category for each of those items. It's up to you. Now, if you're struggling financially, your best bet is to do as individualized as possible, since you can have a better view in how your money is slipping away, and then you can see where the best place to strategize is. Right now, for this sheet, I'll add in a group basis different examples. So I'll put groceries, monthly, supplies, which are usually items from Amazon or Walmart, such as kitchen utensils or diapers, clothing, gas, car maintenance, credit card interest, vacation expense, school, like books and stuff, bribes for Congress. All right, let's leave it at that. Now that we have our income statement categorized, let's go back to the chart under the balance sheet under row 55. And in each category of assets, all the money you have within each account, the total should equal exactly the amount you put into before keeping track equity in cell B32. So say I have 400 cash, 8,000 in my TD bank account, and 1,000 invested in Robinhood. So this equals 9,400. Same exact amount to put on B32. Next, let's do the same for the liabilities. So the remaining student loan is 15,000. Don't worry, one day you'll get there. And 4,000 is owed on our Chase Sapphire credit card. And 1,000 is owed in Amex. Sorry about that. All right, so, or by liabilities. So student liabilities, the remaining student loans, let's put in 15,000, 4,000 in Chase Sapphire credit card owed, and 1,000 in Amex. That equals 20,000, exactly the amount we put into our total debt from before, from the total, the cell that's called the debt from before we kept track. Now, if you scroll all the way up, you'll see in the condensed balance sheet that assets equals liabilities and plus equity. And just to rewind, this is the amount you currently have available to spend. This is your total debt, and this is what's you earned fair and square from the assets. Okay, now this part is where things can get confusing, so you may want to watch this part a few times if you're having trouble. All right, let's go to January. Now, it is important to note that if you're keeping track of your finances in February or some other month, no problem, just start from a different month. Okay, so we see column E is a column for a thing called debits, and F is for credits. Like I said before, rule number 1 is assets equals liabilities plus equity. Rule number 2 here is the amounts in the debit columns equal the amounts in the credit columns. Again, nothing to worry about. I'll walk you through everything. In column D, you'll notice a drop-down bar. The options here are the categories you put in to the income statement. Every transaction you record is put into this, into January, the January sheet, whatever, twice. Once in the debit side and once in the credit side. And those affect the income statement and the balance sheet, so they properly reflect your financial status. So let's start. Let's say I earned this week $1,000 from my work, Starbucks. which was deposited into my TD Bank. So anything you added into assets is a debit, and subsequently anything deducted from my assets is entered into the credit side. So as noted here, let's type in or select the drop-down bar for TD Bank. Put in 1,000. Now you'll notice that all the cells in column G is showing $1,000. That is because my books are off by that amount, since debits do not equal credits currently. If we go back to the statement, we can see here in red $1,000. It's showing us that the balance sheet is off by that amount as well. But we see here that $1,000 was added to the TD Bank account. Now let's go back to January and add the missing credit. Now, since this money was earned from Starbucks, let's put that in here and enter that amount in the credit side, $1,000. Now everything is balanced from all ends. Let's do some more transactions. I spent $50 cash on groceries. So debit groceries as an example, as expenses, sorry. And I paid with my TD Bank card. So let's, oh wait, no, I'm sorry, I said cash. So let's, paid with cash, let's credit that exact amount from cash, credit 50. I bought gas with my Chase Sapphire card for $30. So let's debit gas expense, 30. On credit, Chase Sapphire, 30. Let's do another example. I got a $50 credit card interest incurred. So $50 from Amex. So let's debit that expense, interest expense 50. And credit Amex 50. Now let's pay the credit card the minimum. Say it's $100, even though this doesn't make sense in this case with the numbers there, but let's just say it's 100. So I credit TD Bank $100 and debit Amex 100. Crediting TD because money is being decreased, and debiting Amex because my debt is less now, is decreasing. Now, if you grouped expenses into categories, then in column C, you should describe what the expense was. Say I paid $10 toward my Netflix, but would debit monthly. Then I'll put Netflix here and monthly here. And I'll credit my Amex $10. Another very important detail is to make sure when you put in your categories that no two categories have the same name. For example, in income, you may have a category called other, say for money won at a bet, and in expenses, you might have a category called other for other expenses. This is a problem as when your debit and credit either one, they both will be affected. If you credit other in the January sheet, then both others will be affected. Rather, you should name it over here other income and other expense. All right, that's it. You're done. I hope this helps. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Leave any and all questions and comments you have for me, and please let me know in 2 or 3 months from now how it's going with this. If you're having any problems or any ideas to improve this, let me know. Also, if you want me to make another type of sheet for something else, I'll be happy to do that. And last thing, please share this to anyone you know who can use this. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps you.